solution. So basically, TP solution mission is to try to resolve the problem of the styrofoam. So we know that the styrofoam problem is actually happens in across over the world for a very long time. Like in these 5 years that Thailand has tried to resolve this problem, but they never been success. But they already have the technology. We have the green packaging that actually works because like we can reduce the degradable times of the packaging from like over 500 years to less than 5 years. So we actually have the packaging that works. But why is it not working? Because nobody's actually made this technology become practical. And the reason is because the change to green packaging is actually very expensive. People are trying to create more and more of this technology of the green packaging, but actually the real problem is that the shift from the styrofoam to the green packaging costs a lot to the business. So it's to answer the simple questions that how can green packaging actually improve the business of the distributors and the street vendors. So there is some pros of the green packaging. So actually it is compostable and recyclable. But there's another aspect of it is that it takes less stock than the styrofoam. It's actually consumed 4 times less stock than the space of the stock than the styrofoam. But there are also some cons. Is that the problem is in the supply chain, that when the street vendors going to the distributors, there is no stock available. And they sometimes need to have the expertise to understand like which kind of green packaging that we have to use. And the third one is very common problem is that it's too expensive. It's actually 3 times more expensive than the styrofoam. Now let's see our model. Actually, TP Social is trying to tackle these kind of problems. And the first one is that we talk about like the supply chain and the expertise. So let's take a look at the market. In the market, actually, the manufacturer, the distributor, and the street vendors, when they interact, the street vendor actually going to the distributors, like let's say they ask for 150 units, but it's out of stock. When it's out of stock, then they go to present order to manufacturers. The second one, when they go to the second distributors, they're asking for the same thing because the food vendors cannot wait because they have to use the stock now. So they go to the second distributors and ask for like 150 units, just the same as the first one. So they actually place the same order to the manufacturers. So when they go to another distributors and doing the same thing over and over, then what happened is that then everyone placing orders. But when they send the order to everyone here, only one distributor actually can sell to the street vendors. So the other is left with like overstock. That's some kind of the case problem that actually happens. So to summarize like the problem that actually happens in the market, the manufacturer actually wants to have like a predictable demand. They want to know like what is the market that how many that they have to produce for the market. But while the distributor actually want the predictable supply, when they want to use the packaging, they want to have the packaging now. They never plan. So the next one is more like an economy of scale. They want to send the packaging like in the whole food truck, and the distributor actually want to avoid the overstock. And both of them need to have the schedule, either production and delivery. And both of them need a secure payments. So that's when we jump into the picture. That's why we provide the route planning based on the forecast to solve the problem, the just-in-time delivery, the stock planning and forecast, and the QR code payment. So by providing these 4 elements, then we can help create a virtual warehouse and logistics to help support the distributors. So what happened here, like if we fit into like the first case that we are talking about, when the manufacturer we change the way they stock. So the first distributors can stock, let's say the product A. The second distributor actually stock the sales of the product B. So when they become a strategic partner with us, they stock the different products, and we have been assigned the production and warehouse to them. So by doing this, actually when the street vendor comes and order the products from like the distributor B, we can shift the products from the first distributors to the street vendors. So by doing this model, actually we can eliminate like the price war system in the system, and also can eliminate the problems of the overstocks. So the manufacturer can have the regular orders and the scheduled orders, and the distributors can optimize the stocks, and the food retailer can have the available product ready for them. And after proving this model for a while, we know that it's working. So in the next plan that we are going to do is to emphasize on the model by building like a machine learning to help predict our stock planning and the logistic model. Now we have already operated and have 29 distribution partners in the 10 strategic locations across Bangkok. So in the third one about the expense of the green packaging, we plan to use the advertisement model that's going to be launched in the Q4. So by using the advertisement model, then we can leverage our complementary asset of the strategic partners in many locations to advertise into a specific demographic of people. And we can then use this model as to reduce the cost of the green packaging, and also can replace the styrofoam. So our revenue model can come from two ways. First is from the markup margin by selling the product from the manufacturers. The second one is to have the advertising fees. We have operated in the first year, we try to test the model and find the solutions, and we actually make 1 million baht in the first year. In the second year, we find this right model and we try to implement it in Bangkok. We actually now earn 10 million baht, and we plan to grow into the Asian market in the future to make an accelerate growth. So now our team consists of mainly two persons as a management team, which is our CEO actually has more than 8 years of experience in the packaging and paper industry. He has experience in both operation and sales. And myself have a very great experience in both digital business and management consulting. Now we know that we have the problems in the branding. So we have the advisors who is very experienced in building a brand to a very renowned brand in Thailand. She has over 10 years of experience in this area to help support us to launch the model of the advertisement. So by now we use our own money in 250,000 baht to invest, and then we have already earned 10 million baht. So we want to implement the machine learnings and set up the IT team to strengthen our core models, and we will target to move across Thailand in the next 2 years, and in the next 5 years we plan to go to the strategic country in Asia, including India. So that's all. Thank you.
Your solution is the green product, or is it the logistic model that you're selling?
So more or less it's a total solution to manage the back.
You always, everyone say total solution. Basically, are you selling a green solution versus, or basically is the model that makes you able to sell 10 million baht? What make them, what's the pain point for the customer, and why do they buy it from you?
So most of the reason that they buy is that the street vendor doesn't have knowledge to do the business. That problem is mainly in the stock management and the stock management.
What I'm saying, if it's a model, now let's assume that you don't have a green product, and you just happen to be a styrofoam guy, then your model will help them anyway, right?
So not exactly, because yeah. So here the problem for just only the green packaging is that for the green packaging they actually make a higher margin. That's why they want to sell the green packagings. But when they shift to a green packaging, it's not selling as easy as a styrofoam. So they end up with a dead stock for 6 months. So so after that they stop selling the green packaging. So what if we jump into the picture?
Let me ask another question.
Yeah.
Why did people buy something which is 3 times more expensive than the styrofoam today?
Okay, so that's the value on the another part. That would
From your first 10 million, why did those customers buying something which is 3 times what they can get for the other substitute product?
Yeah, because for the green packaging, it's actually adding more value to the products for a certain group of consumers. So based on our customers, that we have the customers who are the restaurants. So by shifting from the styrofoam to the green packaging, actually their sales is going up by more than 3 times. So that's why they would like to change to the green packaging.
So your value proposition to those companies is that if they sell in the green package, they can sell more, correct? Right.
Yes, if it's for those restaurants, yes.
Yeah, for those. So what I'm saying, that's the existing target that is proven that you try, right?
Yes.
So that's a good target to have. Now the question is, then why can't you reproduce like this and expand it much faster? There are many restaurants out there that probably will buy, correct? And what you're saying is that the reason for not able to expand a lot is because somewhere in the middle of the logistic of someone who is selling that package to that end restaurant just didn't work. So you have to have a model to help grease them so they can not end up with a dead stock or something.
Mm-hmm. So yes, we have, so that's right, because like they have the business problem, so we have like the logistic and warehouse model to support it. But
I still not sure whether are you selling a green product or are you selling the logistic solution?
So the revenue model is actually coming from the green packaging, yes. But the real value that people buying from us is coming from the logistics model. So actually that's why it's become the 2 models merging.
The word people, I mean, are they the restaurant or are they the middleman, the what do you call, agent or kind of?
Packaging distributors.
Yeah, so be clear who you're talking about. So what problem are you solving to who?
As you grow and as the distribution grows, doesn't that eliminate some of the stocking problem for the suppliers? That, you know, you're basically what you're doing right now in terms of your logistics is you're arbitraging that supply differential, and you're going from supplier A to supplier B, finding the source and then moving it through. But as green packaging takes off, won't they be keeping larger stocks, and doesn't that partially disappear? And then what's your benefit or what's your role from that point forward?
Can you repeat the question?
So right now, because I'm not selling very much of the green packaging, I don't want to keep much stock. Mm-hmm. So you can help me because you can say he has the stock and we can share and you get a slice and everybody shares and everyone's happy. But if green packaging continues to accelerate, I'm happy to keep more stock. And then I don't want to share. Neither one of us wants to share, and we don't want to share with you. So as green packaging goes up, does that, and I could be missing something, so please tell me, but it seems that your logistic benefit decreases as green becomes more popular.
So like your solution, you need this solution when you're starting up because people are not buying a lot of your product. But once your product are so popular that everyone wants to stop, then they don't need your model. They will keep buying anyway.
Well, it's more like this model also work in terms of the scheduling. So more like when people actually buy from the manufacturers, that they have like the problem of the scheduling that is not unsure. That's the first one. The second one is more like after we have kicked off to a certain level, let's say we have scaled up to that we have produced at the same amount as a Styrofoam. What happened is that we have the strategic partners in our hands a lot, actually equal to the Styrofoam. So our advertisement model actually jumps in and actually that makes it work. Because after that, we can use the advertisement model to reduce the cost of the green packaging to actually equal or less than Styrofoam. And that makes strategic partner actually stick with us.
Got that. So one important question, have you modeled then the growth in advertising, but also the fall off in logistics? Is that in your financial modeling?
Yes.
Okay, it'd be great to show that at some point, but sorry, I'm monopolizing things.
Okay.
So it seems that you have several problems that you stated, and I think it's the most important one is still the cost, right? The 3x, that's why people don't buy it.
Yes.
So why don't you go up with your advertising model first before, try to target on the logistics side? And also, I would like to so you try to use advertise model to cut down the cost, right? Cut down the cost. So that means that you're gonna have to, let's say, lower price for this packaging, for the green packaging. How are you gonna control how much you're gonna cost? You have to ensure that you have the streamline of the advertisers. You have to, on one hand, you have to make quite
Okay. So it's more like
demand.
a
Yeah. It's like
So in the
chicken and egg.
beginning, it will be in the beginning, it will be the combination of both, like the normal price selling and the advertisement selling. So that will be a beginning. And let's answer the first questions. Why didn't we go with advertisement model in the beginning, right? So actually, the value for the advertiser is more like a strategic locations. So we should have a lot of strategic locations to actually make this work. Actually, the model is similar to like how the Uber and Airbnb do the business. It's more like the value for Uber and Airbnb is more like a drivers and accommodations. So it's the same for us. If we want to make our complementary asset, it's like we have to have a lot of distributors in our hands first to make the advertising model works. And so we actually want to make our acquired network stick. Unlike doing the same thing as Airbnb or Uber that have to put a lot of money for the customer acquisition cost. So we actually use the logistics model and warehousing to make the strategic partners stick with us. And then using that models to use the advertisement and make a lot of margin from that one.
Not really true. Like Uber, they try to solve the problems of the passengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the strategic partners.
Sure. So it's more like the Uber is trying to solve the problem of the drivers, but their advantage is the number of drivers to have the competitive advantage over their competitors. So the same for us, we have to consider our competitive advantage of having the strategic partners. But we have to think about how our revenue model is coming from, which is an advertising company. The advertising company will be valued from our model because we have a lot of strategic locations. If we have a lot of locations, we can set up the advertisement based on locations.